My name is Aerielle, and this is a short film I made to get some perspective on how my world views me. I see myself as an educator, a friend, and as an individual with a strong need for community. I love people, and I love working with children. I have good intentions, but just like anyone, sometimes I need to slow down, step back, and really listen to what my world is telling me. So, in just a moment, you'll hear from a few people who know me pretty well. First up, here's my dad, Howard John.
This is my dad. He's amazing. He's my top model of everything. So I really value his opinion. So Dad, I have a few questions. And my first question is, how do I exhibit leadership qualities?
Well, the way you demonstrate leadership clearly is by sincerely listening and hearing what people say before you respond. And I think a lot of that, I know that you have over the years referred to me as a teacher. And I have been. I mean, I've been an instructor in all the different fields that I work in, whether it was flying or computer engineering or, taking care of people in the classroom. And I know that I see a lot of myself in you, and I do consider myself a teacher. So by default, I think you have become almost everything I'm proud of in my own life.
My next question is, what personality traits do I exhibit that inform you that I'm a teacher or that I should be a teacher?
You're driven. You clearly know what's wanted and needed in a given situation, and you make sure that result is achieved. But in the process, you're also very calm, and you listen. You really do listen. That's something that can't be emphasized enough, and it's relatively rare in the culture we live in.
And where do you see me in 10 years?
Well, I see you in 10 years as having even more of the things that you have a passion for in your life, things that you want. And I know that in 10 years you're going to have children one way or another. Because you want them right now. And I'm just in awe of that. You have brought into your life people who care about the things that you care about. And I've always cared deeply for the people that I've met who are your friends. I love your husband. And he has a lot of compassion, and I think you're maybe just beginning on that path to maturity along those lines, but I know you've got a lot of it already.
Hi, Mommy.
Hi, honey.
I have some questions for you.
Okay.
How do I exhibit leadership qualities?
Well, what I've observed is that you do this by knowing what you believe in and sticking to that. And also by being confident in yourself and knowing your material.
And what personality traits do I exhibit that inform you that I'm a teacher and I should be a teacher?
Okay, well, the way I see it, I don't think personality traits indicate a good or a bad teacher. I think traits are ephemeral and they come and go. What makes a good teacher is the sincere desire to be of service to the children, and you have that desire.
Thank you. And where do you see me in 10 years?
I don't see past right now. I don't see into the future. I don't think about the future. But I can tell you that whatever's going to happen is good.
Thank you, Mommy. I love you.
I love you too.
This is Harriet. She's my stepmom, and she's great.
Well, say hello, Harriet.
Hello.
Harriet, I have some questions for you.
Alrighty.
I'm wondering, how do I exhibit leadership qualities?
You have a take charge attitude that allows you to guide people and persuade people. I think that the strength that you have in leadership skills is to get organization going and just to keep the flow, that you have good follow through. You're a goal setter and work towards your goals.
Thank you. What personality traits do I exhibit that inform you that I'm a teacher or I should be a teacher?
You enjoy learning things and you're observant. You enjoy sharing your knowledge with others and make it fun.
Yay, fun. Where do you see me in 10 years?
That's a hard one.
That's what I was
10
thinking.
years. You will be this old. I don't know if it's so much that you would be in a certain place, but as far as you are concerned, you'll be more solid and maybe fine-tune some of the things that you've been working on through your adult life. I think you'll probably still be working with kids. You have expressed an interest in making changes, but not necessarily from within. So you may seek and find places that you can have influence to change the system for education.
This is my best friend Laura. We've known each other since middle school, and here are some things she had to say.
You advocate a lot for your students, and you advocate for the needs of the faculty as well, like for resources, and you're really involved in you know, voice your concerns tactfully, and then basically leading by example, I guess, would probably be like your strongest leadership quality. You definitely care about the population that you teach to. Like, I can tell because you speak very highly of them, and you understand, you know, you speak very highly of your kids, and you understand that, you know, when a child acts out, there's usually an underlying reason or cause, and you know that a lot of times it's not something that reflects directly on the child. It could be their environment, it could be, you know, a learning disorder or something, and you're able to accommodate that. So I think that's really cool, that basically you're just a caring person. You had a really go with the flow personality and barely ever got angry at anybody. And you kept your cool, and you kind of need that. And that's also a quality that is very becoming of a teacher of any kind, whether you're, you know, teaching preschool or teaching college. So yeah, your patience and your ability to basically roll with the punches, I think, were kind of signs that I can see you actually probably having your own school, or at least being heavily, I don't know why, I can see you being really involved too in policy, educational policy of your area. I'm in Wisconsin, and it's very different from Texas, but like I said, you like to advocate, and I can see that translating into something that's more grassroots, where you know, are politically involved. You might not enjoy politics, but you know that that's what needs to happen for things to change, and for the quality of education to change for the better. So I can definitely see you doing that in 2 years. I can also kind of see you and a group of friends collaborating on, you know, having your own school, or, you know, developing a very unique curriculum that nobody else has developed. So I can definitely see you being involved in like a more structural component of education rather than just being in the classroom teaching.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Al.
Hi.
He's my husband, my lovey, and we've been together forever.
13 years. In the times I've worked with you, I've noticed that you start usually from the bottom and you end up working your way into a position through your efforts and working with others into a leadership role quite often, and people end up turning to you for advice or advice or hints or help when they turn to you because you know what you're doing, you have that confidence of knowing what you're doing. And that seems to be a very prime thing to have as a leader, is doing those things. And you work well with others and you get people to work well with you. Let's see. I come from an old school, so the teacher's usually carrying a meter stick and slapping you around. That's not you. And I would imagine a teacher in my ideal mind is one who cares for her students, who's excited about teaching them and showing them new things, and isn't stuck in the box. And you try to exemplify those things. You do really care about your students. You cry every time they're done with you for the year, and you're sad to see them go. And then you also get excited about seeing the new ones, which is fun. It's interesting to watch from the sidelines. And you do try to reach the students in different ways. And that also falls back to your leadership role. When you learn to recognize how to work with students as well as you did, teachers did turn to you and say, hey, what kind of advice do you have about other students? And sometimes they did happen to be the students that have special needs, and you worked with them really well. In 10 years, hopefully we're still together, and we should be. And I would say doing something that you love, be it teaching or traveling or having kids and being a mom or just doing whatever makes you happy. So there.
Thank you, I love you.
Hi.
Hello.
This is Allie. I worked with Allie for a number of years and we co-taught together, and I was just curious about any challenging times that we may have had together, or just challenging time working with me that you might remember.
The year that you and I partnered taught, we definitely had some challenges regarding having students that had academic issues. Like, we realized that there was definitely something that needed to be addressed, but we got a lot of pushback. We also had some students who had a lot of social needs and needs outside of the classroom, but I think that you handled them very well. A situation that I can think of is when we had a student who was literally going to be homeless that same day, and her mom came to school very distraught and kind of unsure where they were even going to go once she picked up her kids from school, and you responded very calmly and positively and were very patient with her and just took the time to hear her out and comfort her, and we ended up seeking out our counselor and seeking out social services that helped house her and her two kids that night. And
What kind of qualities or personality traits do I have that may be a challenge for me in the future, being an educator?
Well, probably the things that will challenge you the most will be you sometimes are so clear about what you need and you go after it so quickly that it's conceivable that kind of thing can get in your way. That would be a stumbling block. You might not hear others who have perhaps good advice for you because you tend to trust yourself very quickly. That's not a fault, but it can get in the way of you hearing somebody and actually knowing that they're giving you some advice, because I think a lot of people try not to make their advice sound too aggressive.
What kind of like personality or characteristics do I have that might, things that might be challenges for me in being in education?
In education, I would say maybe boundaries. Because you're very kind and gentle and want the best for everyone, that sometimes you have to be firm and stern and not feel guilty about it. And so if you got into some kind of a system that you could influence others, there might be times that you will have to be firm and stern and let it be, and not try to make others happy. That you're going to disappoint, you're going to upset, and be okay with that, because it happens. It happens.
True, but I can see you giving a lot of yourself to your students at the detriment to your own self-care. And that's like really important to like be able to take care of yourself and your needs, and be able to like, say, hey, maybe I should like, watch that extra Netflix episode that I've been wanting to watch. Or
I hope that this has given you an inside look to who I am and what I stand for and what I hope to accomplish while on this planet. Thank you for listening and watching. Live long and prosper.